We have another young Indian with us as part of the Voice of the Young series. Hello, everyone. Good to be back with you. Right now, we have with us Chakradhar Jadhav. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Chakradhar.
Thank you so much for sir having me and contacting me on the LinkedIn. It was really a surprise for me to get the message from you and listening, trying to listen our voices is really important for us, especially in the realm of what you call a digital era where everyone is focusing on that. There are two sections of my the talk today. First, I'll introduce myself, who I am, where I came, and how my friends and teachers have played a role to keep me in a very good academic track. And then I'll explain about what exactly I am doing research. I'll share my PPT and other things.
Okay.
So my name is Jadhav Chakradhar. I basically hail from northern part of Telangana, which is near to the district called Adilabad. I have two elder sisters and one elder brother. The story started like this. My brother, my sisters, my father, and my mother, not even up to fifth standard they have studied. So basically, I am like a first generational educational background guy, where I need to find out what to do next, and also need to gather the money for the master degree and the plus two degree and the graduation degree and so on and so on. So, okay. So my family does the agriculture worker. The two elder sisters, they are happily married and they are very happy. And my elder brother also do the agriculture. My father is now a little bit old. My mother is also a little bit old. What happened for me was up to 10th standard. It's really bizarre, actually, I can say that. My father, my mother, and my brother, even the sister, they were at an age of marriage, and in Indian culture, like marriage of a girls, it involves a lot of financial burdens and that. So my father and mother was, unable to finance my education. So because of these financial constraints and because of my brother's frequent health issues, I can say frankly that I was totally irregular up to my 10th standard. Very irregular. Like I can say like hardly I like 40% of the attendance, I can say that. But 40% of the attendance, and sometimes I used to go and sometimes I used to drop because of I need to look at my agriculture work. I need to support my brother, support my father. That was the major issue. But somehow, luckily, with God grace, I able to pass my 10th standards with very less marks. I can say the second grade marks I got. Soon after my 10th, I had two plans. Like, should I like join? Should I go for a further studies, or should I continue with this whatever I am doing for the agriculture? But I understood that no one is studied from my even my relatives, even my family. My mother wants me to go you and study. She was basically forced to be. I can say that she has paid much attention towards my education, even my brother and father as well. So, and the two options left, that first option was that should I continue the study plus 12th standard, or should I focus on the agriculture? But the second one, what I thought that if I continue my study, this irregularity up to 10th will not work. I don't get any jobs at all. So I decided that if I continue, I'll try to improve my education quality, as well as get some good marks, because that is very important for my life. From here onwards, what happened in my life is I'm very fortunate, actually. So each stage of my life from here onwards, my educational journey, even in my current job, I met really, really amazing teachers. If I could have not met them, I don't think so. I am in a position what I am today now. Okay. So uh, soon after that, my 10th standard, I joined the HEC courses like History, Economics, and Civics in Telangana. It was like a small private college. Then this was like a private, so my interest was mostly in economics, not history and civics. Somehow I passed with 70% marks. But what happens is that I was confused now. Okay, I completed my 12th standard. What to do next? So here is the one teacher I really admire him. His name is Nagaraju. Now he's a deputy treasurer in Telangana. Later he shifted the job from teaching to the administration positions and all. He really helped me and looking at my determination towards going for higher educations and all. He helped me to get my admission into one very good college in United Andhra Pradesh. It's located in Kurnool. It's called Silver Jubilee Government Degree College. And not only he helped me to secure a seat in this college, uh, in fact, he has financially helped me. That was like amazing, uh, help from him. Very, very amazing. And I can tell that without his this generous support and his guidance, I could not have completed my graduation, and I could not have completed, I could not have got the seat in such an amazing Silver Jubilee College. Because this college uh, requires to have a graduation admission test, which most colleges in Telangana or United Andhra Pradesh, they don't do like based on your top position, the percentage of marks you get. So they give the admissions. And this college, I can tell you that this college is really played a crucial role in shaping my future, especially uh, offering such excellent facilities, including the free hostel and very good library and supportive academic environment and supportive faculty. And more importantly, I can press here that the seniors who used to guide us like what to do next. So seniors are mostly like our teachers. So any problem we used to face, we used to go to the seniors. See, seniors, I'm facing this problem. What is your suggestion? They used to tell, oh, you do this, you read book. So that was motivated us to be in a proper track in academy, or basically what to do the next. That was like an amazing suggestion we used to get. And then during this process of my graduation, I met some of very, very good friends, like one guy called Mallesh Umala. He's currently assistant professor at Institute for Social and Economic Change, Bangalore. The other guy is, he's did his PhD in economics from Hyderabad Central Institute. And another guy is called Raju. Both are from Telangana because the college, when we were doing pursuing our degree, it was a United Andhra Pradesh. Later, it is bifurcated. So we had a feeling of what you call the Telangana feeling. So both of them were really played a good role and provided a lot of support when I was in stress, when I was not understanding some of the concept, especially in the exam times. And I used to copy their notes sometimes. And those help I really got from them, and really they are friends now as well. So, but problems comes from anywhere. You know that with your experience. Uh, Till now, the graduation, my journey was really, really smooth because of this teacher called Nagarazu and because of these friends Mallesh and Raju, other things. Soon after my graduation, what happened? My father was got this heart attack and all. Okay, and as I told you that my none of my family members are educated. If they go to these hospitals and all, so someone who has a little bit educational background is required. So this was the time I was like, it's a like I was on the road. I can say that whether should I go this side, whether should I go that side, should I take care of my parents, should I take care of my career? So finally, what happens that my father health issue forced me to take a break from my studies. But fortunately, what happens is that I applied in local university for my master programs, MA in Applied Economics. That university name is Kakatiya University, not the medium range university, performing university in Telangana. But my intention is not to pursue my masters from the local university. So I wanted always to pursue my masters, especially in applied economics, is the first concern, and second concern is also to get some good degree from the central universities where we have a good facilities, good teacher, good English education, many other things. So, but unfortunately, because of my father issues and other things, I ended in a local university.
Okay.
Again, what happened is that then I joined late. 2 months late, then I was not happy in that university because my dream was different. I joined a different university. So fortunately, again, I met a teacher called Professor E. Reval. Such a wonderful lady I have never seen in my life. This lady has not only guided me, actually, she told that, okay, these are my books. She used to call, these are my books. Take it, read it, make your notes. If you're not understanding, come to me, I'll explain. And she has done continuously this process until I cracked the Pondicherry University Masters and entrance exam.
Wow, this is something.
No one can does for I can say that students. So the first was this teacher called Nagaras, and second is called the Professor E. Revati. Then because of her constant guidance, support, and the sharing books and clearing my doubts and other things, I used to I got the entrance exams. I cleared the entrance exam for my masters in economics, especially the dream called applied economics, which is little bit relevant to the markets and all. I thankful to her and her support. I always admire her, supporting role in shaping the students' life. So the journey up to the masters, I took the admission. But during my masters, like uh, I can tell you that up to my masters, I was studying in a Telugu medium. It's a vernacular medium, not the as usual English medium. So I was writing my exams in Telugu medium. I was studying in Telugu medium. But the real the real problem started from here onwards. So I somehow I cracked the exam because of the Professor Revati, and then I started encountered these various challenges, especially speaking English, writing in English, because I need to write assignments. So if I there's a semester system. If the marks are based on your pass marks are based on the assignment marks as well as end semester marks. So my problem was I really tell you this that I'm not hesitating to tell you this. Before I joined Pondicherry University, I was very, very, very weak in English. Even
Okay.
I was like unable to speak the proper two lines words are the that where we use this pronunciation, prepositions, anything. Like I was very, very weak.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my seniors and teachers, they told that, okay, you start reading a newspaper and watch some of the English news and watch as many as movies you can watch, so that it will not only improve but also it gives a little bit confidence to you. I started that procedure. Because of that, then I started slowly writing and started reading the grammar, because I never read the grammar. So that that was the issue. There I met one friend, two friends basically. That friend is one guy is Dayakar Reddy. He's colleague at my current institute. Amazing person who was also from my similar background. We were friends because we were having similar backgrounds again from the vernacular medium. Both were struggling to get the good education, especially to crack the English. Our intention was never to get good marks. Our intention is to write in English.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And later, I met one person, one lady called one girl called the Jayanti Naik. Uh, uh, like she's from Odisha. She's currently working as an assistant director at district planning. The district name is like Rayagada. She's currently working there. Later, I married her actually. She's the lady, yeah, she's the lady who later I married. Uh, Soon after my master's, I worked for a short period of time of 1 year as a research associate at Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, IIM Bangalore. So because of the Pondicherry University gave us a better facilities, I did all this hard work of passing, writing English, and all those things. So I got a little bit confidence. So I applied for a position, open position at IIM Bangalore as a research associate. Then I selected, I was working there. I was working on my proposal to pursue my PhD. Drastically, what happens? I applied IIT, some of the IITs. I got an IIT Guwahati. The admission fees is 28,000. It is huge for me. I can't pay this, so I dropped. I did not took the admission because the admission fees is very huge. And that time, I asked few of my friends. Unfortunately, they also has some problem of money, and also I dropped it. So I was searching a institute. I was searching an institute where the admission fees is zero, so that I can go and pursue my PhD. I spoke this issue with my supervisor at Indian Institute of Management Bangalore. His name is Professor Damodhar, A. Damodhar. So he told there is one institute called Institute for Social and Economic Change, ISAC Bangalore, where the admission the admission fee is zero, but you need to crack the 3-layer admission procedure. One is your proposal need to be selected. Second one is that you need to crack the exam. Third one is that you need to crack your interview. So I was like, okay, this is the only institute I have in my life now. Okay, now it's a do or die situation. Let us prepare. So I was hardly like, I was sitting, working day night. Like I can say that most of the time I wrote a proposal on farmer suicides, the reason for farmer suicides in Telangana. Unfortunately, I didn't work on that because of my other supervisor. And then I got admission into the Institute for Social and Economic Change. This institute, I'll tell you what, this is one of the top institute in India, especially in social science. I can say that thousands of people, they came, they made their career. Now they are in the top institute. They are doing excellent research in the area of economics, political science, sociology, agriculture, many areas. So this institute has really one of the best institute in shaping students' career, especially those who are interested in the research and all.
Yeah.
So fortunately, what happened again, the teachers' role are very important. I met a professor called Professor R.S. Deshpande, who was the previous director. He just retired. Actually, he just retired. He was relaxed, okay, and ready to help the guys. And the other professor is Professor Madheshwaran and Professor Vani, including my supervisor, Dr. A.V. Manju at ISAC. Again, this Professor R.S. Deshpande, I used to walk every day in the morning. I used to walk, a morning walk, we can say that. And not only me, he used to call another 4 or 5 friends. Then he used to tell his stories, how he has developed research, and he used to teach us every day new economic concepts. Someday he used to teach us indifference curve. Someday he used to tell how indifference curve will be applied in real world. And someday he said why there is uncertainty in the world and what are the reasons for that. This professor is to tell us the historical background of particular economic issue and to tell his own opinion. And we did it for more than 4 years, this process. More than 4 years. So every day, if I don't wake up, he will come to room, knock. I'll tell, what are you doing? You're sleeping. You drank yesterday night. Wake up. And we have to go to the work. Okay. By this way, and sometimes he used to answer our questions. Sir, I'm facing this problem. What is your suggestion? And this guy is such an amazing person. I'll tell you what this Professor R.S. Deshpande, he treated me as his own family member. His wife is such an amazing. Whenever I go home without eating something, they don't send us out of their house. And because of his constant morning walk, explaining the economic concepts, my career, my idea has really shaped that how one should do the research, actually how one should understand the society, economy, and problems. And you should have your own opinion because Professor R.S. Deshpande used to give us the opinion. The next teacher, uh, Professor S. Madheshwaran, is little different than the R.S. Deshpande. He is like he used to meet in the night time sometimes, and he used to take us class at evening 4 to night 9. So he's an econometrician teacher. So I understand. I realized that you know the if I don't study econometrics properly, mostly my career in economics would not be good. So I used to roam with Professor Madheshwaran. We used to go to the hotel like he used to tell, bring one paper and pen. I don't know what comes to my mind. He used to write. So he used to teach us in the hotel, where sometimes we used to go for a chai or sometimes for the dinner, but we used to wrote notes on the paper what Madheshwaran sir is telling. So most of the things what Professor Madheshwaran told us, we didn't understand that time, but still I have a note. Now I'm applying all those things in my academic papers and other.
Okay, all right.
Other teacher is Professor Wani. Uh, Whenever I go to her room, she's a statistician. She has done masters from ISI Kolkata. Uh, so any statistical related issues she used to help us. And my supervisor is very cool person, Jadhav. So whatever the R.S. Deshpande tells you, just do it and all. And my wife was also pursuing the PhD under the same supervisor. So we, and then I met friends like one very good friend who is in Columbia University now, Arun Balachandran. One another friend called Agomani. I met the amazing persons like Mudassar, Prashant, and then there is one guy called Omkar Nath. He's in currently Australia. Many others, like many others, like have some like what do you call culture among the students community. The later, what happened during my PhD, I was got an opportunity to work with UNSCAP. It's like United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia Pacific. My specific role was to develop some sort of policy, documents with uh, uh, one lady from the Fiji country. Her name is Dr. Radhika Kumar. She's currently working in Commonwealth Office, London. I Our work was to develop a research policy paper, how fishery subsidies are interlinked with the NTMs, and what should be the negotiation of the WTO on fishery sector. So we have a one working paper with UNSCAP, but many occasions I went as a resource person to deliver the NTM issues and then fishery subsidies issues and role of developing countries and what WTO has to do, many other. So currently, what I'm doing, I'm working as an assistant professor at Center for Economic and Social Studies. It is located in Hyderabad, Telangana. My specific role is that I used to teach econometrics, basic and advanced econometrics. Then I used to teach advanced macroeconomics. But since 1 year, I'm not teaching. I'm mostly involved in the projects and other works. In between, while I'm pursuing my PhD, I met one person called Arun Kumar. He was pursuing PhD from IIT Indvl, Indian Institute of Technology, Indvl, which is located in the Madhya Pradesh. So we used to collaborate for the paper. So we have published two papers. One is on what is the labor discrimination, the discrimination in the labor market, especially people who are working in the manufacturing sector. One, and within the manufacturing sector, we have sector level analysis. We have done one paper, which is published in the Singapore Economic Review, one of the top journals in economics. So one in published in Bulletin of Monetary Economics, which is published by the Bank Indonesia, the Reserve Bank of Indonesia. So what I am currently doing, I generally work in the labor market, sometimes work in the international trade, but currently I'm working on the issue of the digitalization, the gender disparity or caste disparity in the what you call the access to the digital tools or ICT related issues, especially India state-wise analysis. Should I share my PPT like that?
Well, yes, but before that, I think since you've concluded this, let me congratulate you and thank all the teachers who have helped you. And then I express my admiration for your friends. So, it is a remarkable story. And as we know, you cannot have a remarkable story on your own. You cannot. Yeah. The remarkable stories come with the help of your teachers, with the support of your parents and family. And before we get to the formal, I just want to know how your family and relatives feel about it. Now that you are really international, okay? The fact is that you are now international, you are working with the UN, you are publishing abroad, you have contacts everywhere. So you are international from a small village. So how does it feel for your family? And did you continue to support your family? So the personal side of it, I think I'm very keen to hear from you. What is the reaction in the village? Your school teachers who helped you, how do they feel?
Initially, I'll tell you, there's a joke on this actually. Initially, I told my father and mother, as well as my brother, even some of my relatives, up to masters, they know that there is a master degree. But my mother, especially my mother, she don't know that. I told one day, Mom, I'm going to pursue my degree in PhD. She told, what is it? Ma'am, this is a final degree in academia. After that, there is no education. My mom told, why you need this much of education? And then everyone used to come to our house, and while I was pursuing my PhD at Isaac Bangalore, and everyone used to tell, what is your son doing now? My mom don't know what to tell because she forgot that word called PhD. Then one day, what I did, so in the kitchen, I wrote with a pen, like a PhD. Those who are literate, they can go and tell, see, my son is doing this course. So she can point out to the particular area, then she can tell that. Oh. Later on, I was trying to explain what is PhD degree and all those things. My brother, my father, my relatives, really, they are very happy that, what I am doing today. Majority of the things they don't understand what I am doing, what is this research papers, what are these projects and all. But they feel very happy that I am into some sort of better position, I can say. They're really happy. I support them because my intention is not that okay, I got the job. My intention is to bring the next generation. My intention is to not only my brother's sons and his daughters and all. Now I have the bigger responsibility of making my sister's son, the elder sister, and then the younger sisters, all of them, all their sons and daughters should get at least a master degree or at least some good education. So in the process, I am like doing some work. My elder sister's son now working in the Air Force. So he recently got the job. The brother's daughter is pursuing computer science course in Hyderabad. Some of them are the younger sisters. One son is now pursuing 12th standard maths, physics, computer course. The other one is 10th standard. So, and my elder sister's daughter is graduation. So botany, zoology, and chemistry she's pursuing. So most of them, they are like coming little bit, they are studying. Definitely, I need to guide. I need to spend extra time on them. I need to, tell like, okay, this is the application. They don't understand how to apply, and also I need to apply. Sometimes I have to pay money as well. Definitely doesn't matter. My wife also helps them to get the second generation, to get some good education and all. Definitely, yes.
Okay, good. I want to ask a personal question, which you may or may not answer. It's your choice. I usually don't ask personal questions, but in the Indian context, it's worth asking. And you may
7 o'clock.
say that, look, how was your family's reaction to marrying someone from another state?
Initially, I am very frank with you, sir. Initially, reaction was really bad, and I was actually I was denying uh, uh, some of the girls like contacts. My father told, okay, this is the girl you go and marry. Not go and marry, like go and see them. But somehow I was denying to see them, and also somehow like I was fear to tell my father, okay, I have already a lady I want to marry. So it took around like this process took around 2 years. I was scared. Then finally, my father asked, like, "Okay, do you have any girlfriend or something like that?" Then later, I told not directly to my father, but I told to my brother. Then my brother told to my father, my mother. Then now everyone come to know that. But it was not such a easy task, even my father at final stage also they told you think rethink it because she's from other state, you're from other state. Think of it. So I told no, this decision won't change. So please help me. But my wife and my intention was that okay, if we marry with the agreement of our both family sides. So that was our intention. So we made it clear that okay, we will convince. I know that my father will convince because my wife has also job. I am also working. So somehow I convinced my father, my brother, my relatives. Like for marriage, what happens is that it's not only between a girl and boy. It is the between two families. Families within her side, not only their mother and father, they also need to convince their relatives. Society is important because in our system, like caste plays an important role, and you know this. So that was like a different task for me. Yes, but see what happens is that I face this many problems. I told this is another problem. Let us face it. Let us get some solutions for this as well. I was very clear about my mind about my marriage and this girl. I was very much clear about this. No second thought.
Okay. And on her side, were there similar issues or just curious?
The issues, or the first issue was the caste, and second issue was the different states. So that was the issue.
But it's all over now, finished, right?
It's all over. Yeah,
Okay,
it's over.
good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's really something, you have not only achieved education, but you have, of course, brought up the second generation. But in the end, the marriage is the key to happiness in a
Yeah.
long life. And you have done something that you really wanted to do. But that's your biggest achievement, really, to get the marriage the way you want it, because it's so tough in the Indian context
Right.
to have this thing. And so congratulations. Now, of course, if you want, we can switch to your PowerPoint, which is, of course, going to be interesting, but there's nothing more interesting than whom you marry. All right, let's go.
You are able to see this, my PPT, yeah?
Yes, we are able to see it.
What made me so much of interest to work on this computer literacy? I'm talking about the computer literacy, not the digital divide. I'll explain the difference between computer literacy and the digital divide and other things. How Indian caste system and the gender disparities are important, especially accessing them, the access to these kind of. This is, let me tell you that this is not my alone work. We have a co-author, so called Prashant Kumar Chaudhary. He is currently assistant professor at Manipal Academy of Higher Education. He works in the Department of Public Policy. So he's my contemporary friend at Isaac Bangalore. So this is a collaboration work between me and the Prashant. Okay. See, what happens is that if you if you look at, the 21st century, most things, healthcare you take, education you take, transportation you take, any sector you take, it's rapidly, it's like every sector is somewhat, they are trying to digitalize the, economic structures, and the firms, they are going much more digital. So, because of this too much of digitalization, there is an anticipation of high economic growth in India, and there is also anticipation that this digitalization basically generate a plethora of new job opportunities. Okay. But what happened is that in India and many other countries, especially the developing countries, despite there is a high economic growth, we have a robust economic growth in India, like which is more than 6% GDP and other things. The caste and genders, there are some persistent issues because of our society segregated based on your graded inequalities and all. And this disparity of caste and gender, it was earlier, and now still it is also there now, especially in the employment opportunity and the access to the digital tools and many other things, workplace discrimination, many other things. Now this, the current caste and gender discrimination is percolated to something called the digital divide or ICT skills. There is also disparities in caste and gender related to the digital divide and ICT skills. I'll quote some of the numbers. You'll be interesting to see how there is a too much disparity in India and many other developing countries. UNICEF has published a report where it's highlighted that 90% of the jobs, today jobs, are the coming jobs because of the rapid digitalization. In the world, this 90% of the job has a digital component. Okay, until unless you know some sort of computer operating, until unless you are smart enough to handle the computer related ICT skills related things, you cannot get the job. Okay, IMF also forecasted that because of more AI and then the robotic technology and all, so one need to develop this ICT skills. And surprisingly, the report highlighted that, and there will be more men working in this ICT component related jobs than the women. So this creates some sort of why those kind of things. It was striking our mind. And then later what happens in the developing countries, if you look at 40% of the women has access to the internet compared to the 53% of men. So again, there is a gap of 53-43 between male and female, especially access to the internet. Okay. Later, what happens is that if you look at the Indian case, the two cases I would like to quote. One is that use of internet in India. What is the gender difference? Second one is that the number of mobile phones difference between the male and female. In India, if you look at the use of internet in India, the comparison between male and female, the male use internet 58%, but the female uses 42%. So again, there is the disparities. And if you look at the phones, the number of phones, the men has what you call the 61% men uses, but there is a 31% only female uses. So there is a gap of 30% gap when it comes to the access to the mobile ownership difference between female and male. This was okay. This was like it was there earlier, but during the COVID-19 and before that as well, everyone recognized that how important is having access to the mobile, or having access to the mobile with internet, or having better laptop and better broadband connectivity and all, and how that has affected our lives, livelihood, employment, skills, and especially the people from the tribal areas, especially from the rural areas, especially people from the tribal, the remote people. They don't have the infrastructure. especially the students, if you look at from the, I personally saw the people from the tribal areas where they don't have phone, they don't have internet, and the government, what they have done during COVID-19, they made entire education through the online mode. See, people from the tribal area, people from the lower caste background, they don't have access to these things. How they learn? So this started, a realization that, see, uh, there's a huge gap of this gender as well as caste, digital divide among the rich versus poor, or I can say that the lower caste versus upper caste, the male versus female. So that has triggered us to understand what are the reasons for those and what exactly the numbers is, what is the percentage of all those things. Because of this COVID-19, what happens that everyone came to the conclusion that there is a significant digital divide across a location, especially rural and urban, gender, and the caste. See, we are not the first people who are doing this kind of research, but there are people. We have our own research here. What earlier literature has told us that the adaptation of advanced technology, it's basically not only important for the economic development, it helps to reduce the poverty. And people with better ICT skills, people with know how to use their mobile phones with internet and all, they increase the chances of employment in the labor market. Okay, and also increase the female labor force participation and increase their, financial inclusion and financial services. They use the mobile phone with internet for the different financial services and all, and it helps to get better education. I can say in the other things. Some studies also found in the US that during COVID-19, people with home internet, their subjective well-being was better than the people who do not have internet at home.
Right. Right. Yes.
But what happens is that these studies, what they have done, most previous studies, they consider the digital divide as, I can ask you that, do you have a mobile phone or not? You say yes or no. They count it as, okay, if it yes, they count it as, okay, the person has the mobile phone. No, the no. Then they made it like digital divide, like among the caste, among the location, among the gender and all. Exactly for the same case, like I can say that they come to me, then ask, do you have a computer? They say yes. Will you operate it? Could you operate it? I can say yes, but they don't check it whether they operate or not, or I can say that they have not specifically asked the questions related to whether you can send a mail or not, whether you can create a PPT or not, whether you can write a program by using mobile, whether you can use the Excel, whether you can do like subtraction or the other functions of the Excels or not. This question they did not ask, and these are the questions are very important to get a good jobs, which markets requires us. Okay, and they did not explore the computer literacy because of the two reasons. One reason is that there was no nationally representative data at India level. Okay, recently they have released the data for the India level. Second was that if they also want to conduct the study for the larger scale, it's required a lot of cost involved. Okay, so that was the two reasons. So what we have done, we have in India we have NSS, National Sample Survey Organization. So in the March 2023, they released data of 78 round. And in this 78th round, there were certain questions. There were 9 different certain questions. I'll explain in my subsequent presentation. That whether a person can send a mail, whether a person can make an e-presentation, whether they can write a program, whether they can, know how to operate a Word file, they can spreadsheet, whether they can operate properly a spreadsheet or not, so and so. So specifically what we have done that, so we have not used digital divide, we use the ICT skills. So these are computer related skills, not digital divide, merely having a phone or no, exactly. So what we have done, we extracted the data for the gender and caste because for a specific reason that their adaptation and the impact of use heavily influenced by the country's social norms and cultural diversity and economic disparity, caste disparity, especially for the females, especially for the females. So this is the reason why we wanted to do. So what result shows? So you can see the downside. I have a 9 indicators. First indicator is whether the person copy a file or not, which is the easiest one. And the last one, if you go to the right side, write a program, write a computer program, which is the hardest one. You can see the percentages are very, very low. Okay. As one move from copy a folder or not to a write a computer, it goes like this from easy to hard. Okay. So this graph tells you that the differences among the individual whose ability to perform a computer by the caste wise. So we divided the caste like the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, other backward classes, and the general category. Okay. If you look at this, the first skill, copy, move a file or folder, you can see the general category is performing better than the OBC, and then the OBC is performing better than the SC, and ST is lower. And this trend is same across these 9 indicators. So what I can conclude from this graph is that ability to perform a computer is depend upon from which caste the person comes from.
Okay. That's very clear.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's very clear.
Second one, so what we have done it, like we have done it the exact same way. Now this time we have made it by a religion. So the religions are Hindu, Muslims, Christians, and others. But here the little bit surprise things are that Christians are performing better than the Hindus. Could be the historical reasons that the Christians have better English educations, better schooling, and better computer handling and all. But the one thing interestingly, we found that Muslims are performing very, very poor across all the 9 indicators of ICT, which is a striking results for the all India level. So okay. Then what we have done is we put it a little bit differently. Now we put it like male, female, and rural, urban. Obviously, from the again same indicator, copy and move a file folder to write a program. Again, the easiest to the hard. What we can see across all these things, urban individuals, ability to perform a computer is better than the rural across all the 9 indicators. And second one, the females in urban areas are better than the rural areas. But even in the females from urban areas is not as good as the what I can say that I have not seen here. I have not kept the indicator. The male. So okay. So I can say that even females in the urban area are lacking the ability to perform a computer. Males from the same reasons, urban reasons. Okay. So the conclusion from this graph is that females access to the I can say the ability to perform a computer is less among the rural areas and also among the females. And but what happens is that if you look at the little bit disaggregate level, what if female from the earlier graphs and tables, I can conclude that the female, the ST people are performing very, very low. And what if that female is from the lower caste background? It's a double discrimination. Females are already facing discrimination. And if she belongs to the lower caste and there's an additional discrimination, that is what exactly we would like to see from this. Again, this 9 indicators, we have the left-hand side and the right-hand side, we have ST, SC, OBC, general category, and male and female. M stand for the male, F stand for the females. You see, especially if you take at the first column, ST, male, ability to perform the copy move folder is 90.6%. But female, 10% more or less on an average, 9 to 10% difference between male and female. And this is same across even in the general category as well. In general category, female, the male has ability to perform a copy move file is 40.56%, but when it comes to the female is 26.1%. Okay, so if female is belongs to lower caste, and there is a double discrimination, but this trend is also similar in the general category as well. Okay, so more or less, even the female belongs to general category, even the female belongs to the OBC or SC and SC, there is a high discrimination for the female not to having access to or the ability to perform a computer from the 78th round of NCC. This is what we conclude, but the discrimination is much more in the ST and SC category than the OBC and general category, I can say this. And this is same across all the 9 indicators. But what happens is that, see, suppose what we have done is that here we have not brought the caste issue and all, but we brought the male, female versus the levels of education. These levels of education divided into 4 categories. One is the illiterate, up to primary, above primary to higher secondary, graduation, graduate, and above both the categories, and for the same 9 indicators, male and females. Where we can see that the last graduate and above, the numbers which I have highlighted in my presentation, if you look at it, as the levels of education increases from above primary to higher education, higher secondary, to a graduate and above, the difference between ability to perform an ICT skill is narrowing down. Okay, it's narrowing down. So you see how education plays an important role as not only getting the knowledge, but also performing your computer between male and female. The male for a copy and moving a file is 78. There is a slight difference of 73.1. There's a 5% difference. Okay, but without education, so much of difference between male and female. Right? So much of difference, and this is same across all the 9 indicators. So what we conclude from this is that education is very, very important, and it not only provides the ICT skills are very, very important. These ICT skills not only provide the better employment opportunities, but it also narrow down gender disparity among the male and female, right? Okay. Then, so I think I can say a few words. Only 2 slides are left. At an all India level, the computer literacy is far from satisfactory level, very, very few. And it shows that only 15.6% of the Indians, the age between the age of 15 and above, can send an email with attached file. Only 15.6%. And only 5% of the Indian, the same age, can create an e-presentation. 1.4% can write a computer program. 1.4% of Indians can write a program. Okay, you can see that how we are lagging. So this is approximately same for the 9 indicators. Now, already this conclusion I have told. But what interestingly we found that communities that have historically, socially, and economically underprivileged, especially the scheduled caste and the scheduled caste females and the marginalized caste SC and ST, also have lowest shares in the computer literacy, which is very, very striking results.
Yeah.
Second one.
Just a second, Vanishka, we are running over the time to the previous speaker. Could you please join after 20 minutes? Okay. Thank you. All right. Yeah, continue, please.
But what is happening is that the marginalized...
you can listen to this. It's a very interesting discussion. So you don't have to log out. Please listen. It's a very, I think you'll be interested. Okay, so let's continue.
So the marginalized caste individuals, especially SC, STs, and OBC, are showing a significant trend of narrowing gap with other castes, especially if they provided with a better education facilities. Okay, and then, so we conclude that the specific interventions are required if the individual from marginalized caste, if they try to get the competitive market requirement jobs. Okay, and this requires that first they have to reduce the inequalities in gender, and caste by providing better district infrastructure, especially electricity and internet in the remote areas, as well as like very, very remote areas, and as a part of improving their social capital, basically, I can say that. Because social capital of improving this, improving infrastructure is much, much important to get a competitive required market jobs. I'll end by saying one quote by the Queen Rani of Jordan. So say suppose when you empower girls with technology, I can say that the technology, I don't know how, which context she has used that, I directly profit this. You are not only closing the gender gap, but also you are enabling them to participate fully reshaping our future. Okay. So I end with this quote of Queen Rana of Jordan. Thank you so much for having me. I hope I have taken a little bit more time.
It's okay. Well, can we shut off the screen share and so that we can just talk?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for this presentation. Can I just like to put it in the context of some other economic theory. You know, when we talk of the level of poverty in any country, we also have a yes or no answer, BPL or not BPL, right? Are you below the poverty line? But in the economic literature, we also have the depth of poverty. I mean, how far below the poverty line you are matters. You know, you could be 1 rupee below the poverty line or 1,000 rupee below the poverty line. But in the yes or no question, you are just counted as below the poverty line. But what about the depth? So what you are doing is you're going beyond the yes or no, sort of below the digital literacy, below the digital this way or that way, to saying, no, let's look at the depth, right? You're looking at the continuum. Where are different people placed in the continuum of the literacy? So you have defined different levels of literacy, and then you have placed the people along it. You could also, of course, if you didn't do that, you could just say X% are at this level, Y%. So you would have kind of a depth of illiteracy rather than just a yes or no answer. And the answer is not surprising at all. What your detailed answer is, it's not surprising at all. This is what you would expect in the way the Indian economy and Indian society work. So, but it's a useful contribution still, I think, to just bring it to the reality, to the world that listen, this is the way that we have the spread of the benefits of technology are far from even, okay? And we certainly have to take policies. The government probably cannot take any measures, but I see it as a ripe place for non-profit organizations, because all these things you don't need to actually go to college or school. Now everybody knows that if you have access to YouTube, you can learn these things, okay? And you can be taught these things through the lessons that are readily available on provided by others. And many, you know, in the software business, nobody asks what degree you have. They simply ask, what can you do? And they don't ask how you dress. They don't ask how you look. They don't ask anything. They say, can you do this? And if your answer is no, but I'll learn it tomorrow, they say, good, you're hired. It's also not what you know, but whether you have actually got the guts to do it, right? Rather than what you know, okay? So because what you know today is irrelevant tomorrow. The technology changes so fast. So I think you might actually take a look at some of those issues and put this in the perspective of how the software market works. And, you know, they don't care. You are in Bangalore. Bangalore doesn't care about any of what I call as your traditional identities. All these things that you have listed, caste, gender, all these are traditional, what I call as traditional identities, right? They don't care. They just say, well, can you work 12 hours a day? Can you do this? We have a time difference. The United States is not at the same time zone. Can you do this work? And if you say, probably, yes, I will learn it. They say, okay, you're hired. Right?
The
So
question,
this is,
the question, sorry, I'm
yeah.
interrupted. Question our intention was to, just to, report and share the extent of differences.
No, you've got the data. What I'm saying is the data is very clear and it's very good. What I'm saying is that to understand the meaning of these results that you have in the context of the way the software market works, and if you want to reduce the inequalities, putting it as a recommendation for the government to do something is like, okay, this not, they'll take 5 years to implement it, by which time it'll be too late. It's just not going to work like that. Okay, it's not going to. I mean, your own career, you have. I don't want to repeat it here, but it has worked with friends and family and teachers. So all these things have to be done by private, I mean, non-profit kind of activities. So that's just my general thought on this. That look, you have rightly pointed out the inequalities, and it's not unexpected inequalities. But these inequalities are not going to be easily removed by government action, because they can run programs and schemes, but the government takes an awful long time to even formulate a scheme. And when I was once the world had moved to Windows, government schools were still teaching DOS. You would say, why are you teaching DOS? They say, but that's in the syllabus. So, well, nobody uses DOS. I'm talking longer back, okay? Nobody uses DOS anymore. So why are you teaching DOS? They say, sir, that's the syllabus. What can I do? So, you have to, you can't be using yesterday's technology, teaching yesterday's stuff. You have to teach. Anyway, thank you so much for this. And thank you so much for the first part. Let's end the recording here. And I want to talk to you a little bit. And let me just say to Vanishka that I'll be with you in about 15 minutes, okay? So you could please log out and we come back in 15 minutes. I have to end this meeting for Zoom to record it, actually. So you do have to log out now, and I have to log out. Otherwise, the recording will not stand, okay? And Zoom.
Thank you so much for that.
Okay, all right, so Vanishka, we'll see you in 15 minutes. I want to talk to Chakradhar for a few minutes, okay? All right, okay, yeah, all right. Let's end the recording here, folks. I hope to see more from Chakradhar in the future. And of course, Vanishka, I will interview in next 15 minutes. So let's end the recording here. Bye, everybody.
Bye.